Welcome back to another warm-up show with the hockey coach, Guru, Coach Francis directly for the Sunshine State in Florida. Yes, the internet work, Mr. Gators. And we have to find the co-host directly from Ontario, Toronto. Mr. ENORTAP is back in the house today.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you? Hello.
Thanks to join us today. We are a special edition at 5 o'clock p.m. today. And I will be here until 6:15. So we appreciate everybody. So many of you guys, we mentioned this today earlier at the 12 o'clock show, but we thank each one of you to be a part of the show and join us tonight because we have 14 game, 28 team on the ice tonight. Really interesting. A lot of good game. A lot of game can be an impact whatsoever on the playoff race for sure. And of course, the Florida Panthers here are on the ice tonight. They open the door to the Anaheim Ducks. So it'll be interesting how the Panthers going to go to do again the Ducks for sure. But Carolina, the Rangers, the Toronto.
Yeah, and also there's an impact on the lottery.
That will be another way also for the NHL lottery at some point. So we have a lot of things happening. But welcome Nicolas de Goubi-Bonneau! Directement de la belle province de Québec, dans la région de Sherbrooke. And a little bit my neighbor, a little bit south and northeast, or northwest possible. Mr. GATORS-ROCK, Tim T in the house.
Hey, Gators, welcome.
New York, upstate New York. Welcome back, Mr. Jose Duarte is in the house tonight.
Hey, Jose. How's it
From
going?
Utah. A lot of people talk about the snow this morning. I don't know what's going on. But welcome back, Mr. Ron with Kings 20.
Welcome.
The Kings. The Lassana Kings tonight. They cannot drop that game against Chicago for sure.
Huge game.
And Joseph, they have a long night, Mr. ENORTAP. You have to stay until 1 o'clock tonight. Central time will be midnight, but his team play again the Arizona Coyotes for the bottom of the bottom. But don't worry now, Joseph. It's happened a lot of time for us. Every game we play is always for the bottom anyway. But Joseph LANHAM is in the house.
Welcome, Joseph.
And we have from Toronto, Ontario, number one fans of the Muffin 34 AM 34, Miss Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
She said 60 today. Is it like the weather?
Yeah, I think it is around 60 degrees today. Yeah.
Really? And New York was 74 today in New York. Whatsoever happening, the shoot over there, but it was hot over there. And from Boston, John Gregor.
Hey, John, how's it going? Did you hear that they're supposed to get a huge snowstorm tomorrow in Winnipeg?
I don't know. I heard that's what people was talking about snow. I did not know where it was.
Yeah, apparently
I don't know. But
the Winnipeg game is being postponed.
Really?
To May 1st.
Oh wow! My goal tonight was surprise everyone. Ron said, and we have Joseph. I hit the super late game, and the problem with Joseph is won this game that's not really important. I have to go to bed at 1 o'clock watching my team, but at the end of the day, does not work because they don't who care, right? They win or lose at the end of the day. But again, no, 60 goals. I mean, Kelly said. No, 60 goals. I don't know what you mean about this, Kelly, 60 goal.
Never heard of it.
But, I should talk about Austin Matthews, 60 goals tonight.
No. Can't be that.
We'll be interesting about that. And then we have Ozzy said to pray for her sister with brain cancer. It just got a stroke today. Yeah, prayer will be sent to you for your sister for sure. Terry T in the house.
Hey, Terry. Welcome.
I thought Kelly Matthew was already at 62. I think you missed a couple of games, Kelly.
So, she was in jail, remember?
Yes. Talking about the jail, we are right now in the jail, but we bought a party bus jail today because I have too many people. So I said, why not to celebrate at the jail and not like only 1 or 2 people over there. About that, we have to congratulate Andrew, Francois Pitre, and King of Gamer with 1-0, honestly. And the rest of us was all complete out with 0-1 yesterday. So we went to the jail for 24 hours, but it was a good time to go there because a lot of people we recognize, of course, an owner, and Daddy never moved. He stayed there for an overnight. He was prepared all the food, everything like that. So it was good to be there, and we appreciate Danny for that one. Yep, you're right. Andrew and King are not in the jail. And Francois Pitre also was not. Right score, nobody got a right score, honestly. The fantasy, Pierre Martin and Andrew Iamo and Pierre, again, Martin, I don't know why I gave him twice. I had too many generous. It's not Pierre Martin, I think it's Richard Marlin also. Many of the players, they got 1 point, like Dubois, Zuski, and Petrie. And the total goal have to go with John Grega and Honor. Both of them are 6 with a final score of 4-2. So they are the winner of the yesterday 1 game. But tonight with 14 game, it will be interesting how they're going to do that for that one over there. Johnny, Justin Barron, Jake Allen finished for the season. Yes, Johnny was confirmed Montreal Canadian. And Emil Eneman is also out for the rest of the season with the Montreal Canadiens. So Emil that's not going to play with because Johnny asked me about him and I did some search today. So Emil Eneman is in Montreal. And he came with an injury, and so they're going to have some treatment, everything like that. And because of that, he cannot participate with the Laval Rocket. So he's going to be around here learning about the culture, everything like that. So he's going to prepare. Maybe he will stay a couple of weeks before he return in Sweden, before he come back for the training camp, everything like that. So Johnny, I just want to mention to you about that injury about him. The more thing about it, I like the Rangers as a strong game, great goalie, scorer, defense. That he has a great point about this, Mr. Terry.
For sure.
It's just again can be the just again we see at the beginning of the season. They have everything. The depth is there. They are well balanced, better now. I want to see the impact of Ren Reeves tonight against the Carolina. He can make some impact over there with physicality, see what happens, right? Because I think Brandon Smith, I'm not sure if he will return with them tonight for the Carolina. So it's something I have to follow up about that. The new Buffalo guy is playing tonight. Yes, Owen Power is going to play for Buffalo tonight. So it'll be interesting to see that. What happening to Barron? He got hurt when he scored his first goal, a couple of shifts after that. See, he have a sprained ankle. So he's walking with a boot, and they didn't want to take any chance right now, so they shut him down for the rest of the season. Another one out, like Drew Doughty for the Kings this morning. We talk about him, Mr. ENORTAP, out for the rest of the season.
That's right.
That'd be the one about that one over there. Real deal, Prim is on the house. Goalie and defense play up at the hockey at it finesse. Got the power with the Sabre. Yeah, you got the power with Owen Power tonight for sure about that. Coach, do you have my outgoing 5-2 on Sunday? I would take the second loss because my brain clearly did not care about and this weekend. I will have to look about this, Ron, about this. I will have to look about this for sure to give you what you need to get. Mr. ENORTAP, we're going to go all the introduction. I know we have not many people, but a lot of people may be thinking it's 6 o'clock, but we're going to do what we're supposed to do. Go to you to drop that puck. That's what we at the drop that puck. And to do that, of course, we have to drop that puck with at least to bring you all the way over there. And Mr. RG back in the house. Welcome back. And it's time for the face-up ENORTAP pay attention the last 24 hours. What he remind us what going on around the league. I'm sure you're going to talk not only about the Montreal Canadiens, but maybe other subjects around the league. So let's dive in right away and invite Mr. ENORTAP. Talking about the last 24 hours. Here we go.
Thank you, Coach. Well, we only had the one game last night, and we had a fun time. I know the internet went down, Coach, and we definitely missed you last night, but we had a fun time in the chat. Danny was punching away and keeping people entertained as we were going along. It was really good. We were exchanging a lot of comments about the game as it was going on, and it was actually I don't think it was a bad game. I think both teams brought an entertaining game to the table. The problem you saw there with again, I think some of the defense looked a bit porous for Montreal. Some of the passes were not very crisp. But Montembeault just played a superb game, really kept them in there. Montreal had some opportunities, but they didn't obviously convert on the ones that they needed to, especially towards the end when it was still 3-2. A quiet night for guys like Suzuki. I mean, Caulfield was visible, but wasn't really dominant like he can be. I thought in the first period Anderson played a very solid game, and then he kind of tapered off a little bit. Who else? We had Petrie made a big mistake that cost us a goal. And credit to Winnipeg. They were without two of their big players. I think Hellebuck made some very good saves that helped them out. And Stastny was again a driving force for them with the absence of Scheifele and Wheeler. Connor stepped up. So it was an entertaining game. I know it keeps them in the race still. I highly doubt that they'll really make any noise going forward, just because of the number of teams that they have to jump over. Other things today, like you talked about it already, Montreal shutting down Allen and Schoenemann and Barron. So is that also to help make some cap space? And maybe we'll see Price coming in at some point. We'll wait and see. And of course, tonight carries some absolutely gems of a game that we might see as even playoff possibilities. Teams that are challenging for first, teams that are challenging just to get into the playoffs, teams that are challenging to get as low as possible so that they have a higher lottery pick. So it promises to be a very exciting night, that's for sure.
Yep, definitely about that one there. We welcome back Mr. Jarmo Virtanen is in the house tonight. Welcome aboard.
Hey, Jarmo.
Terry bring a good point. Like Vegas tonight play again Vancouver tonight, and if they lose Thursday, they play Calgary.
Right.
So they could be 0-2 right now, or they could turn around to be 1-1. It's a really, really important game for them tonight. They cannot lose that game tonight.
They have to. It's imperative, and that's why we're even seeing Mark Stone as a game-time decision. I think he'll be playing tonight.
And then Yamu said he went to the jail this morning. He was in the jail in the morning. He just got off the for sauna. Cadras was 30. Yes, Yamu. I know. Danny, he did not clean up yesterday. And that's what happened about that. Talking about Danny is back in the house.
Hey, Danny. Welcome.
And we want to say that thank you for Mr. Real Del Bream said this is the best hockey show on YouTube channel. So we want to say thank you so much. Very kind of you. And we're Mr. Andrew Lepage in the house.
Hey, Andrew. I heard you took Winnipeg again last night.
So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. And so that's what we at. Try to find something here. You're welcome, Real. About that, let's dive in here.
And of course, we forgot to mention, Coach Malkin. It happened yesterday, but Malkin got suspended 4 games for that cross check to Borowiecki's face. Did you think that was appropriate or enough?
Yep, was great number.
Yeah.
Great number. The ref missing, but missed the call. But the league did the right things about that one with them for sure. About that, so
Yeah.
that's what's happening. We have a leaderboard right now. Only honestly with 0-1-0-1. I don't know, Jose. Jose, I didn't get your score yesterday. So if you give me your score, it's no matter. It's too late. But but if I forget your score, now I can add over there your score. I did not see. I look around, said, "Gee, did I forget your score?" But that's what happened yesterday. So many of you are 0-1, honestly, but it's all good. Not many change. Still Luciano take the lead, still in the lead with John Gregor. Both of them, anyway, are 0-1. And Andrew joined the coach in ENORTAP for sure. ENORTAP still over us, anyway. So that's what we at. So not many things about the leaderboard, Mr. ENORTAP. Tomorrow with 14 games, some of them maybe drop a little bit. And don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. That'd be awesome before you leave the building tonight. So this is not the first one. This is the first one. I apologize. We're going to go that way over there. And we'll go from 14 games to ENORTAP for about the next 40 minutes. That's your conversation. Yamu said, if you go to 14-0, you will become the chef of the Alcatraz. Honestly, we're going to give you the boss, the party boss, Yamo, at 14-0. And we're going to remove you. You are an exception. You have a free pass for the jail one day. If you have to go to jail, we give you like a Monopoly game, Mr. ENORTAP. We give them a free pass for the jail. So they cannot go to jail that time. I give it to you on the stream, 5-2 Montreal and the jail. Yeah, but I was not on the stream. That's the problem about that. So we're going to make we're going to make a loss for you about that for sure. So that's what happened. Mr. ENORTAP, it's all to you.
Ready to go, Coach. Here we go. Let's see. Mine are a little bit out of order here, but first game we have St. Louis and Boston looking to bounce back from losing 2 out of their last 3 games. The Bruins return home from a 4-game road trip to host the Blues. It's going to be a dandy, I think, with these 2 guys. St. Louis has been really riding a hot streak lately. Boston's kind of been going the opposite way. Kind of coincides with the absence of Pastrnak there and the penalty, the power play not working at full efficiency. Boston dropped Sunday's 4-2 decision to Washington on the road trip finale and surrendering 2 goals in the third period after the 2 teams were actually quite close. They were deadlocked, and it was an exciting game till that point. Boston went 0 for 16 on the power play during this road trip that they were on. So, in a nutshell, that's what's contributed to their downside lately. As I mentioned, with Pastrnak being out of the power play unit, it's created some issues in terms of positioning and stuff. Grzelcyk upper body left Sunday's game in the first period, and then he didn't return. And you also had Hampus Lindholm that was also out. So there's those are probably the major reasons why they didn't perform on the power play. The Blues have now won 5 straight after riding 4 goals second period to Saturday's 6-1 win over the Islanders. The night earlier, they had snagged a 4-3 overtime win over Minnesota, which was a really exciting game. It went back and forth. They had some 2 or 3 different lead change of scores there, leaders. St. Louis and Minnesota are now tied for second in the divisional standings. And really for St. Louis, I would say that Thomas has been the story. This guy's in the midst of a 9-game point streak right now, which is the longest of his career, and he's also on pace for the best year for him statistically. I like the fact that Boston's at home tonight. I'm gonna take as much as I rethought this back and forth. I think Boston will win this in overtime, 4-3.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, next we have our beloved Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres, the team that the Leafs can't seem to beat for some reason or another. Toronto has 10 games. Let's count this, 10 games to prepare for the postseason here. And it begins tonight against Buffalo. And when I say prepare, I mean get themselves into a mindset that will give them the confidence to go into that first round and say, you know what, we're not going to lose. We're going to win this first round. We'll see if it happens. Of course, they're led by Austin Matthews, who's been having just a fantastic year. He's at 58 goals right now. The other night against Montreal, he scored within 27 seconds, 2 goals in the first period, and really it set the pace. And he has a chance to become the league's first 60-goal scorer this year, since the last person that did it was Steven Stamkos back in 2011 and 2012. Toronto doesn't intend to coast through the remainder of the season. I think, like I was mentioning before, I think that they have to, and they want to get in the right mindset. They're pleased with what Eric Källgren has offered them, and really he's been an untalented hero. This guy is really kept the Leafs in, especially with the injury to Mrazek and Campbell really not playing to his standards yet. He's been the difference in my eyes for the Leafs in that anyways. The Sabres, they're coming off of a 5-0 away loss to the Lightning on Sunday. Buffalo's dropped the first 3 games of a road trip that's going to end tonight. Buffalo's won 2 of the 3 games so far this year. And tonight we're going to see the first game for Owen Power, who was the number 1 overall pick last year in the NHL draft. He's scheduled to make his debut. Probably will play alongside with Dahlin. But as much as Buffalo has done well against the Leafs, I think the Leafs are slowly coming into form, and I'm going to take the Leafs to win this one, 5-3.
I listen, Kelly, 5-2.
Okay, next we have, who do we have here? Anaheim and Florida. Okay, so Florida and Anaheim is set to meet tonight with teams that are headed in totally different directions right now. Anaheim has been eliminated, obviously, from the playoff contention for a club record 4th straight year. Only 4 Western Conference teams have fewer points than the Ducks right now. Florida has already secured a playoff spot for themselves, and they're starting to really come into form. I'm liking the fact that they're winning more road games. We've been seeing that over the last couple of weeks. And also, they've been winning some closer games, right? They haven't always had to resort to winning games 7-6 or 5-4 or whatever the case might be. So we'll see what happens with it. The Panthers are on a 7-game win streak, 1 victory short of their best run of the season. Then that happened in October when they went 8-0-0. They're just the 6th NHL team in the past 25 years to score 300 or more goals in one season. quite a remarkable feat and speaks to their depth. Individually, Huberdeau has been, he's had a great season. He's breaking the franchise record with 104 points. He has 27 goals with an NHL high 77 assists, and is on a season best 11 game point streak right now. 9 different Panthers have scored at least 15 goals this year. So again, we talk about the depth. There you see it in spades. Barkov's team leading 34 tallies. Verhaeghe has already set career highs in goals at 22, assists, and points. Impressively, all 22 of his goals have come at even strength, and he gets some power play time on the second unit, so that is quite a feat for him. The Ducks, who are 13, 16, and 7 on the road this year, had their season sunk by an 11-game losing streak, and that totally took them out of things. I think it deflated the sales for them. Shortly after, we heard that Getzlaf was prepared to retire, so he's done by the end of the year. Although guys like Zegras and Troy Terry have had very good years, it just isn't enough to carry them, and I don't think it'll be enough to carry them tonight either. I take Florida to win this one easily, 6-0.
Six to two.
Okay. And next we have Carolina. And
it looked like the dog from Ron They Love Our Voice.
Sorry?
The dog from Ron They Love Our Voice.
Sure. Okay, next, Carolina and the Rangers. Another tough one to really predict here. You got two teams now. They play each other 2 more times this year in the last 10 games. And it's really going to determine whoever comes on top of these 2 games, I think, will end up winning the division. This is a great showcase, late season showcase tonight. It all starts with these 2 teams that are battling for first place and ensuring the best possible positioning for themselves and home ice, of course. The Hurricanes have won just 2 of their last 5 games. But, on Saturday, that 5-2 victory over Anaheim was really you saw a lot of positive things coming out of that game for the Hurricane. You saw a team that when they get out to that quick lead, they're hard, very difficult to play against. They really know how to close things down. They don't make mistakes. They're very deep, and they don't have to really go on offense until an opportunity opens up for them, and that's exactly what they did against Anaheim. The Rangers have been off since Saturday when they stretched their winning streak to 3 games, outscoring their opponents by a combined 11-2 in those games. Both Carolina and New York split their first 2 meetings of the season. Again, we can't underestimate the importance of this game, or the next 2 games, I would say. It's going to determine that home ice advantage. The Rangers have, in their last 9 games, have gone 7-1-1 and have looked really, really impressive. Jordan Staal has been a big part of the late season surge. He's racked up 11 goals across the last 29 games. Who else? Svechnikov has a team high 20 multi-point games this season. Staal wants the Hurricanes to maintain that presence because it really goes a long way in assisting their top line right now. I think this one, I'm going to take. I forgot now. I think I took the Rangers to win this. I originally was thinking Carolina, but I'm going to go with the Rangers just because they're at home by a score of 3-2.
Here we go.
And next we have Philadelphia and Washington. And the Capitals are starting to switch into postseason mode already. They have 10 games left before the start of the playoffs. And next up for them is Philadelphia tonight. They're coming off of a very successful week in which they beat teams like the Lightning, they beat the Penguins, they beat the Bruins, all of which are teams above them in the East. And it was quite remarkable, the fashion in which they did it, too. They're currently in the second wild card spot. They're 4 points behind the Penguins for third in the Metro. After facing 5 straight teams that are bound for the playoffs, the Capitals finally meet a team that already has been eliminated from contention, Philadelphia. So hopefully they don't treat this game, they don't get lured into the traditional trap game mentality here, thinking that they're going to score an easy victory. They have to keep working hard. That's the kind of team that they are. They have to continue to get the strong goaltending. The Flyers, they haven't won 2 games in a row in over a month, although they've won two of 3 against Washington this year. So it's important that Washington enters this game with the right mentality. I think we will see that continue, and I'm going to take Washington to win this game 5-2.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, next we have the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Islanders. With a losing streak ended and another milestone achieved for Crosby, the Penguins will look to continue their momentum when they visit the Islanders tonight. Really, when you stop to think of the fact that Crosby missed a number of games at the beginning of the year, and what he's done since he returned, you could definitely make an argument that I'm not saying that he necessarily should win, but he could be mentioned in the Hart Trophy conversations. That's the type of year he's really had. The Penguins, though, recently have lost 4 consecutive games before Sunday's 3-2 win over the Predators. Crosby scored both the overtime winner and the Penguins' first goal of the game, and also added an assist on Jason Zucker's equalizer in the third period. So now Crosby has 1,400 career points, ranking him 22nd in NHL history. And he still has some gas left in the tank to keep climbing up that list. Pittsburgh's Rakell also had 3 assists Sunday, recording his third multi-point performance in 11 games since he's been acquired from the Ducks. The Penguins are in third place in the Metro, 6 points behind the Rangers, which I think is going to be very difficult to catch at this point. I mean, they had their chance last week and a half. They played them 3 times and lost all 3 games. So I think that goal is a little bit out of sight right now. What they don't want to do is end up having Washington catch them, who are just now 4 points away from them. The Penguins and Islanders are 2 of the NHL's best at killing penalties, but the Islanders have been in a particularly good form lately. They've gone 21 for 21 over the last 7 games in killing off penalties. So we're starting to see that form that the Islanders, the coach and I predicted would win the Stanley Cup. We're starting to see that form come back, but it's a little bit too little, too late at this point. So I'm gonna take the Penguins here to win this game, but I think it might go to a shootout. I'm gonna take them to win 3-2.
All right.
And next we have Ottawa and Detroit. Both these two teams are hoping to, really just build some momentum for next year with the remaining games that they have, and starting tonight as they meet in Detroit. At this point, they're just playing to do some positioning in terms of where they'll land in the lottery carousel. The Red Wings, they enter playing better of late, having earned points in each of their last 3 games against Boston and Washington before they lost to Columbus on Saturday in overtime. If there's a silver lining, it's the recent 3-game stretch has been much better for Detroit, which had won just 3 of 18 games prior to that, and we were really, not only were they losing, but they were losing by huge differentials and allowing a lot of goals as well. So they've seemed to have tightened that up a little bit. It's a team that has two players that are going to be in that Calder Trophy nominations, both Insider and Lucas Raymond. Building for next year is an objective for Ottawa as well, which comes in with a 3-game losing streak themselves. But prior to those 3 losses, they had won 3 in a row, including back-to-back 5-2 wins over the very same team, the Detroit Red Wings. Much like Detroit, Ottawa wants to use the remaining games here to sort of give younger players a chance to see how they can potentially fit into the plans of the organization going into next year. Obviously, they want to impress not only the coach, but Yzerman, who's going to have some big decisions to make. One of those exciting rookies that they're going to be showcasing is Sogart, their rookie goalie. He made an appearance already and did fairly well, but then he lost the other night 4-3 to Winnipeg. And this will be the final meeting of the season between these two teams. So this time I'm going to take, because they're at home, I'm going to take Detroit to win 4-3.
Awesome.
Great. Okay, next we have Edmonton and Minnesota heading into tonight's into tonight's game in Minnesota. The Oilers sit second in the Pacific. They're 7 points behind the Flames in that chase for the top spot. It's going to be very difficult for them to get that because Calgary's just been playing lights out on a consistent basis. With only 9 games remaining, it's really a long shot for Edmonton to try to wrestle away that division title from Calgary. More in Edmonton's control, though, is the hold on the team's current position, which would mean home ice advantage in the opening round of the playoffs. So basically, they just need to take care of business for themselves. As they prepare to face the Wild tonight, the Oilers have a 4-point edge on the third place LA Kings and a 6-point edge over the Vegas Golden Knights. The first quest for the Oilers is clinching a playoff spot, which I know sounds like not a big thing, but for them, if we think of where they were at one point, especially when they were looking for a goalie, they've gone a long ways to ensuring that. Their second goal is to ensure that they finish in second place or better, but I believe it'll be second in the Pacific, and that all rests in their own hands for sure. The Oilers saw their 6-game winning streak, and 9-game home winning streak snapped on Saturday with that very exciting game that they played against the Avalanche 2-1. And really, if there was a game which simulated hockey playoff form, that was it. These two teams were going nose to nose the entire night, and it had to be settled in a shootout. So I think they can take, even though they lost, they can take that as a moral victory, saying that they can stand up to the likes of the Avalanche if they should meet them in the playoffs. The Wild, who own the second spot in the Central, well, they're coming off of a 6-3 win over the Kings on Sunday, a game in which the Kings actually led 3-0 just over 10 minutes in before Minnesota opened the floodgates and scored 6 unanswered goals, led by a whole bunch of people, but in particular Kaprizov, with his franchise record tying 42nd goal of the season. The Wild are riding a 9-game point streak on home ice and have the most wins and points through 71 games in franchise history. So I'm going to take the Wild because they're at home to win this 3-2.
All right. We want to welcome Roger Delaney, Charles Olivier, Andrew Ford, and if I miss you, one of you, I apologize. But thanks everybody to join us. Don't forget to click on the likes. And Mr. ENORTAP, just wait a little bit so I can start over everything, and then I will shut down all the game. There you go. You can go.
Okay.
Thank you.
The next game, the 9th game of tonight, the Predators will look to solidify their hold on a playoff spot when they host the Sharks. The Predators sit in the first wild card spot in the West, 1 point ahead of the Stars in the second wild card spot, and 3 up on Vegas right now. Nashville's 8-6-1 in their past 15 games and hasn't won more than 2 in a row during that stretch, which for me is a little bit concerning. I had sort of hoped that Nashville was set free and out of this mess, but they probably have one of the toughest schedules coming up at the tail end of the season here. And so they can't afford to get on any kind of losing streak here. If anything, they have to really step it up a bit and ensure that they're not one of the teams in that conversation of who's going to be on the outside looking in. The Sharks will try to snap a 6-game losing streak while being outscored 24-13. They've allowed at least 4 goals in all but one of those losses during this slide. Tonight's game will be the second of a 5-game road trip for the club, which began with a 4-2 loss against Vancouver on Saturday. And the Predators have won the 2 previous meetings that they've engaged in. And really, it was no contest in either one of those 2 games. They've outscored the Sharks 11-1 in those games, including on March the 5th, an 8-0 trouncing. I don't think this will be much different. They'll complete the sweep tonight and beat San Jose by a score of 4-2. This is a definite win. It has to be a win for them. This is not a game that they can afford to lose.
I agree with you.
And next, we have the other team that can't afford to lose, especially given their opponents. LA visits the Blackhawks with a hold on the playoff spot in the Pacific, although the hold is very precarious right now. LA enters this game in 3rd place in the division, 4 points behind the Oilers, and only 2 ahead of Vegas, who each have played 1 fewer game than them. So, given the fact that they only have 8 games left, you really can't afford to lose to Chicago here. LA has lost 3 straight as it faces Chicago, and in the second game of a 3-game road trip that concludes on Wednesday in Colorado. So this road trip could define their season. It's going to be a tough game against Colorado on Wednesday. So again, I reiterate, they have to beat Chicago tonight. Chicago, they've surrendered 6 goals in its most recent game when they played Dallas. They gave up 5 goals on 20 shots when Lankinen was in, and then they took him out and they put in Colin Delia, who had 9 stops out of 10 shots in the third. The Blackhawks actually topped the Kings 4-3 in a shootout on March 24th, marking Chicago's most recent victory. The Kings and Blackhawks will conclude the season series on April 21st in LA. So those are the 2 games for sure that they need under their belt. I'm going to take LA to win this game by a score of 3-2. All right. And next game, well, the Flames have a golden opportunity here to clinch a playoff spot by making hay at home this week. The Pacific Division leading Flames will kick off a 3-game homestand against the Kraken in the second half of a home-and-home set, and Calgary claimed a 4-1 victory in Seattle on Saturday. The victory capped the perfect 4-game road trip for the Flames, which included a 3-game sweep through California, an important turnaround after they dropped 3 straight home clashes just before hitting the road. So the Flames have won all 3 meetings with the Kraken this year, and they boast a 7-point edge right now over the Oilers in that division. Much of the focus for Calgary surrounds their star forward, Johnny Gaudreau, who needs just 1 more point to reach 100 in the season for the first time in his career. But really, the Flames showed they have plenty of depth in their last game. Gaudreau and his line mates, both Lindholm and Tkachuk, were held off the score sheet, and yet they still managed to win that game handily. That's how deep they are. The Kraken, who are 30th in the league right now, are looking to the future, obviously. Matty Beniers, the 2nd overall pick in the 2021 draft, and first ever player drafted by the franchise, signed with the team Sunday at the conclusion of the frozen ice competition that they had. He's from the University of Michigan. The Kraken certainly could use a boost, having collected only 2 wins in their last 6 games and managed only 10 goals in that entire stretch. Not to mention that their power play has been virtually it's disappeared. So they're going to have to figure that out, but I don't think they're going to figure it out tonight against a tough team like Calgary. I'm going to take the Flames to win this one 4-0.
Sound good. And Luciano, I got it. No problem. You can send me an email. And everybody else, if you want to send me an email for all you pick, you can. If you did not do it today here, that's not a problem. We know we have a lot of pick anyway, so we understand. And don't forget to click on the likes.
And 3 more games, guys. Tampa, Dallas should be another clash of the Titans here. The Stars don't have the time to look over their shoulder, especially with what awaits them on the schedule this week. They open up a key 3-game homestand tonight against the Lightning. They play well at home, so they need to ensure that they get at least 2 victories out of this. Dallas enters the week clinging to the second playoff, a wild card playoff spot, 2 points ahead of Vegas, 1 point behind the Predators. So they're right in the thick of things. They have 10 games remaining on their schedule, including 7 that are going to be at home. And with their games in hand, like this is totally in their hands. If they just do what they're supposed to be doing, they should have that playoff spot guaranteed. The Stars haven't had 2 days between games since March 27th, 28th, and won't have the same break until April 24th and 25th. And the Stars can't afford to lose games like they did on Saturday when they fell 3-1 to New Jersey. The Lightning are in a much more favorable spot in the standings, but are still attempting to round into playoff shape. We haven't really seen that. They took one positive step on Sunday when they beat Buffalo 5-0 in a very convincing fashion. Buffalo had been playing very well recently, beating some top-notch teams. And that ended Tampa Bay's 5-game losing streak there. Right now, I personally don't really think they care where they land, whether they land second, third, or fourth in that Atlantic division. They're just looking to make sure that they enter this game in fine form. It was no coincidence that they're playing better defensively since we saw Ryan McDonagh come back into the lineup after missing the previous 8 games with an upper body injury. This guy really is their anchor on that defense. I mean, Hedman does so many good things, especially on the offensive side, but Ryan McDonagh plays a heavy game, and he's so sound defensively that, I cry every night thinking that Montreal had this guy and let him go many years ago. Tampa Bay beat Dallas 3-1 in their only other meeting this year in January, when Dallas was without their leading scorer, Jason Robertson. So we'll see here. I think it's going to be going right down to the wire, and I think it's going to go right to overtime before Tampa wins 4-3.
Sweet. We want to welcome Willet 80, Willet 80, and also John Lowry. Thanks to join us. And also, Danny, you gave me Barkov earlier. Are you going to go with Barkov or you go with Luciano? Thank you, Luciano, for your email. I appreciate a lot. So that's where I am right now. And don't forget to give me your fantasy player and also the total of the 14 game. And if you need a calculator, you can use one.
That's a good question. I don't know I think I did mine. With a 5-game losing streak behind them now, the Devils face a rare opportunity for consecutive victories when they travel to face the Coyotes in a matchup of 2 teams that are right now slated at the very bottom of the NHL. The Devils moved further away from the Eastern basement with that 3-1 win on the road against the Dallas Stars on Saturday. They had to rally with 3 goals in the final 16 minutes to complicate the playoff pictures and Dallas's playoff aspirations. Before the victory, New Jersey had lost 10 out of its last 12 games, with only Montreal below them in the Eastern standings at the time. The Coyotes also know about losing skids themselves. They're on a slide where they've dropped 10 of 12, including 3 in a row. So something has to give tonight for sure between these two. The good news, hopefully they both go to overtime, and that way points are picked up, and it helps Montreal, of course. But we'll see. The Coyotes have just 6 games remaining in their arena in Glendale before they move to Tempe, Arizona next year. The most recent defeat was that 6-1 drubbing at the hands of the Vegas Golden Knights. The problem is that the Coyotes have been making everybody look like a top opponent of late. In their last 5 defeats, the Coyotes have given up at least 5 goals in all of 5 games, and they've been outscored 27-4. And make no mistake about it, a lot of this has to do with the absence of Clayton Keller, who was lost for the season with that fractured leg at the end of March. It's very unfortunate because he was having a fantastic year. I'm going to take New Jersey to win this game 4-3.
I think you skipped one. That's why.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's all right. We control everything.
Everything's control. Okay. So our last game, purposely done? No, not at all. Vegas and Vancouver. Vegas has made the Stanley Cup playoffs in each of the last. You could also say in their first 4 seasons of being in the NHL. Whether they make it 5 in a row this year, can be determined with a 3-game road trip through Western Canada that's going to begin tonight against Vancouver, who themselves are looking to get into, a last-minute playoff spot, although it's a lot tougher for them. Vegas is currently on the outside looking in for that last spot, trailing LA by 2, and they're also behind the Predators by 3, the Stars by 2 points, and so they're in that jumbo with those teams, as we know. Now comes a road trip that begins with Vancouver, which has kept its slim playoff hopes alive with 3 straight wins, including a 5-1 trashing of the Golden Knights in Vegas last Wednesday. That was a critical loss for Las Vegas. And that was followed by games at Calgary on Thursday and Edmonton on Saturday. So you would have thought Vancouver would have been done and out by now, but they're still hanging on to hope. With only 9 games remaining, including 2 other tough road games at Dallas and St. Louis, the margin of error for Peter DeBoer's squad is probably 0 at this point. They have to win games that they have here, and we're going to probably see Mark Stone, who's been deemed as a game time decision. My bet is he's going to be out there tonight. It's just the kind of guy he is, and that will spur them on a little bit, and I think that they will win tonight 5-3. If he plays, we will see finally that number 1 lineup of him, Pacioretty, and Mr. Eichel, and we'll see how they play together.
I'm missing a couple from the King of Gamer. I missed your last 2 games. If you don't mind to give it to me, that'd be good. Mr. ENORTAP, the total of your
89.
Yeah, 91.
91. Okay. And coach has been dominating me on the fantasy front, even though last night we tied.
Yeah, I'm back over there here. And
so I'm gonna have to.
We tie up yesterday.
Yeah, 4-4. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say to you, King of Gamer, it's your last 2 games: New Jersey, Arizona, and Vegas, Vancouver. That's the 2 games I'm missing. The rest, I have all of you. We appreciate. Just give me the last 2 games, and that'll be good.
Great. And so I'm going to take Florida tonight, Coach. On defense, Letang and Hedman.
Okay.
And then my forwards, I'm going to take Huberdeau. Just for Kelly, I'm going to take Matthews and Goudreau.
She took Matthews, by the way. Just 6 more ENORTAP before tomorrow on the King. Coach, it's too late for me to calculate my point. It's too far from the chat about that. Awesome. About Gamer got you. And me, I go Mr. ENORTAP, Washington. Carson, Jose. You took Huberdeau. You took Matthews. But I still believe McDavid could be something damaged tonight.
Yeah. I don't disagree. You had a lot of good leftovers there.
Yeah, I think he can do something like that. Mr. ENORTAP, we are almost done with this show. So before we leave, I know you're busy, so we're going to go all the way to the end, the conclusion of the show. So tell us a little bit more what you're looking forward for tonight.
Oh my gosh, Coach, where do you begin and where do you end? Of these 14 games, I think 12 of them have some sort of impact on standings tonight. Teams that can't afford to lose games are definitely going to have their backs to the wall and have to produce. And then we have even a couple of games. We have like New Jersey, Arizona, as well as Seattle in action tonight. So those will affect the positioning at the bottom of the standings as well. So Montreal right now is in 31st position, but they might find themselves at the bottom again next, or tied anyways, by tomorrow morning. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree with you about that. I think I will, a lot of impacts for sure. King of Gamer, I got all your games. That's not a problem. And for me, of course, going to do Toronto, Buffalo here tonight, Mr. ENORTAP, for sure. And then I'm going to follow up with follow the Carolina and, of course, the New York Rangers. And then after the game Toronto, we're going to follow up a little bit what's going on with Vancouver Canucks, Vegas. So it's going to be a long night for us here, but it's going to be interesting. We want to express for your wife a happy birthday for the Hockey Nation Live show.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much.
And we wish you an amazing, great dinner. And honestly, that's happening. But we're not going to close the show. I'm going to let you go. I'm waiting about 10 more minutes because in case some people can show up, like Richard Mollin, François Pitt, Pierre Martin. I think we are missing a couple of people. They maybe thought the show was starting at 6 o'clock. So
right.
I will wait a little bit longer for them for sure. So we wish you an amazing, great dinner, my friend. Well done.
Thank you, Coach.
You did again another great game, set up with 14 game. I know it's a lot of preparation and Mimi, the people don't realize, but for me, I realize everything you do here. So we are really grateful. And then
thank you,
Coach said have
a
great dinner to Hooters. And enjoy that
divorce
one
here
there.
We go.
Have a good night, Mr.
Thank you.
ENORTAP.
Good night, everyone.
All right, good job, buddy. Here you go. He was Mr. ENORTAP for the warm-up show. We're going to be here in a couple more minutes, just hanging there. Just see if we have anybody else, like from the Richard Martin, or bien maybe Pierre or François Pitt, or something else, or maybe Noner. Here we go. Noner just talking about the Noner. Noner just show up, ladies and gentlemen. Here, the red carpet. Here we go. That's Noner lunch. Now this is for the Noner dinner. We bring his lunch for him. And we are happy when the puppet, Jeff Petrie, the Muppet, Jeff Petrie doggy, bring the lunch to the Noner right now. So hopefully, Mr. Noner, you enjoy it. About that one over there for sure. About that again, Noner, you can email me your prediction of the game tonight. 14 game on the prediction. So you can have that one over there. Just send it to me an email. We're going to keep this on the properly for you, and then we're going to judge you with the rest of the people. For the night tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs have a big game against the Buffalo Sabres. Sabres did not win, beat a lot of time the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto have a difficult time with the Buffaloes this year. Calgary is going to be between the pipes, not a problem, no. And we expect Greg Anderson for the Buffalo Sabres. Owen Power, the first overall pick last season, played a full year with the Michigan Wolverines. He's going to play for the Buffalo Sabres tonight. First game in NHL. Many other college NCAA going to play in for the rest of the season on different teams. So it'll be interesting to watch for that one over there for sure. About this, I think today is the day Vancouver push out, beat Vegas is a must-win. Vancouver also must win. Vegas will be a playoff time. That's the game to watch at the end of the night. I believe this game is going to be really interesting about that. I forgot tonight was at 5, not at 6. No, now that's why we still a bit longer, just in case Pierre Martin or François Pitt show up or Alain. So here we go, Danny. Yep, you tell us about his IQ. By the way, Danny, I gave you the number 96 tonight. So I know you cannot calculate after 73. So I put the number 96 goal for you. You had the highest number of the show. So it's over 96. You win, Mr. Danny. So I just want to sharing with you what I did for you. So that's a good thing about that. And also, we want to remind you, we'll be back at 7 o'clock. We'll be back also tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And tomorrow night, we're going to be back normal at 6 o'clock. You know, I think that's the right time for everybody. I know it's a bit complicated because we have to jump right away at 7 o'clock. But for the rest of the year, we're going to finish at 6 p.m. Every time that we're going to do also during the playoff a special warm-up show. The warm-up show will be complete at the end of the season, and it's going to be transformed to the power play show the night at 9 o'clock p.m. And if everything looking good for me, I'm going to take a vacation, not a vacation, but the time I'm moving, if I go to Thailand moving, I would take 2 weeks without internet over there. So it's going to be only after the end of the season, after the draft, after the UFA, and that's time. So August is going to be a really slow month for the Hockey Nation Live show. We are already prepared for the next season, everything like that. So that's what we have. King would be Ed. Yamo, if someone goes out, thing is a death throw. Yeah, we keep him on the jail for 1 week, Yamo. Salt Lake Bees cancel baseball game with Vegas because of all the snow we are getting. Wow. The Salt Lake Bees is a baseball team, honestly. About that, who would be drafted a number 2 coach after right? I still believe for me, Slavkovsky, Johnny, I still believe he's going to be another Marian Usa or a style, a prototype like him. He have too many upside down for me to not let him go. I know Cooley, Savoy, you know, and other. But I still, if I have a choice, Johnny, for me, if I have the number 2 or number 3, any position is still on the board, is my first pick. I see too many of him, and the kid is just, he's going to be an amazing, great scorer in NHL. I believe he really look like a Chemnikov for me, Johnny. He's really a prototype of Chevnikov, like 30 goal, 25 goal. The guy is 6'4", he's strong. He play with men right now. He tried to learn it the 2 ways. The kid have a really good release, a quick shot. So for me, I will go with him. I found out they tried to play soccer too, but no. Coach Sean to be running from Canada. Yeah. I'm running after everything. What if someone goes 14-0? Luciano, we give him a pass for the jail. So you get a free pass. That's what we should do. Someone have a perfect 2 game, like Joseph last week at 5-0. We should give them like a free pass jail. And if ever he want to go to jail, but you have a free pass jail, he cannot go at the jail. and that saved him to not go to jail. So something we have to go from that one. Be on the lesson is Angel family is where is I first saw a Mike Trout or Mike Trout, but Roger will do 014. Danny said about that one over there. I just tried to hang in here a little bit longer, and don't forget the guys to click on the likes if you don't mind, because I'm just waiting for maybe Pierre Martin or François Pitre. If ever you guys, you in the chat, let us know. Yeah, I think it would be great. We try to innovative many. Everything Yamo below 4 and 14, it cannot be that way. You have to be at least to get a 5-6. At least with 12-0 this season. Yep, around you have the number 1 lead. Not many people reach 10-0, and you are the best one at 12-0. In the past, some people did the hat trick with 3. Now we have 4. 4's Fontaine we hold, but Kelly, she was pretty good. I believe Kelly, if someone else have a 3 right score one night. So that's another thing we try to remember about that one over there. Yeah, Coach, what do you select for the good, a bad player for the add and leave? For the Jeff Petrie, and then I took for the leave, I took the Justin Old, Yamo, and for the best player for the Montreal Canadiens, I went with Romanov, and for the Toronto Maple Leaf, MICHEL. Yep. But I got new phone, Samsung 22 Ultra. Magnex Gold, go 15-0 the final day of the season. It'll be really interesting about that last game of the year with 15-0. We're going to do a full show, everything like that. So that's what we're going to try to do about that. So that's what's happening for the Hockey National Show. We are at 4,300 right now. We're still missing 700 to reach the 5,000K. I thought to reach the 4,500 at the end of the season, regular season. I still believe we need to get 5K and then 10K. It's not easy. But anyway, it is what it is, right? And we try to modify a couple of modifications about the continents, everything like that. If you have any continents you want to talk about, you want us to make better, or if you feel like we should make some modification, please don't hesitate to reach us. And I try to increase that channel the most we can be to become better for sure. I think Owen Powell will play on the power play number 2. I will not be surprised about this, Yamo. I expect 17, 18 minutes for him. Do you think Bernie, the 24 round, would be top 6 skater? Yes, King. I really believe is a Matt Bernier could be really like a little bit more offensive, but Cyril Lee, it could be the prototype of Anthony Cyril Lee for the Tampa Bay, a second good center in NHL. About that for King of Gamer, about him for Cyril Lee. I really believe he have everything he can accomplish, great thing in NHL for sure. About that. So look like Pierre and François are not there, so or Richard Mullen. So maybe they will join us a bit later. I will maybe send them an email if they want to send me a prediction, or maybe when we start the show at 7 o'clock, maybe they're going to be there. Darren McKay will be good in the NHL or just presenter. I still believe he has some upside down. He's a little bit like Dustin Wolf or Levi for the Northeastern. I think Darren McKay have to get 1 or 2 years in American Hockey League. Michael Develey was expecting a little bit lower, but I think you have some players have a great start and say never reach the NHL. But I still have I don't see why not a team cannot sign him as a goaltender and then offer him a contract and then put him under their affiliation team and then go from there. Yeah, too many teams. Like, I don't know why Edmonton don't do that. I don't get it. Edmonton should give him right away right now a contract. I don't see that. The Toronto Maple Leafs, he could get that one over there. They're missing goaltender. So every team looking for the goaltender, I think you have nothing to lose. He just won the OB Baker Trophy too. So the kid, you have talent there. I don't know why the NHL don't jump in about those opportunity about him, but it would be interesting to follow about him. All right, everybody, thank you so much to join us for the warm-up show. We'll be back at 7 o'clock for the game Buffalo and the Buffalo Sabres and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Until then, we wish you an amazing, great evening. If you now join us tonight. And, of course, you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Thank you so much, everybody, for your participation tonight at the Hockey Nation Live Show for the warm-up show with Mr. ENORTAP. Until then, I can't wait to wish you an amazing, great, blessing evening. And we want to tell you, be well, be healthy, and find a way not only to dominate your day. Like Mr. ENORTAP, we said to you, find a way to dominate what? Your 2022. Have an amazing, great night, everybody. You're welcome, Jose. Awesome run. Thank you, John Gregor. Kelly, thank you. Nooner. Jose Laham, John Gregor. Round with Kings. Danny. Andrew Lapage. Yamo, King of Gamer. Thank you, Andrew.